Picture a man in a nice house, paid off car, no credit card debt. He should feel safe. He doesn't. Because somewhere, quietly, he's losing money every single month. And he has no idea. This is the story of the debt that isn't dangerous. And the freedom that secretly cost you everything. Stay with me. By the end, you'll never look at a zero balance the same way again. Here's the scene nobody talks about. Two neighbors, same income, same house price. One pays off his mortgage in 12 years, feels proud, debt-free. The other keeps a low-rate mortgage, invests the difference instead. 10 years later, one of them is quietly ahead by 6 figures. It's not the one you think. We're taught debt is the villain. Get to zero, sleep easy. But money doesn't care about your feelings. It only cares about math. And the math says this: not all debt behaves the same way in the dark. There's the debt that eats you alive. Credit cards at 24%. Loans on things that lose value the second you drive them home. That debt is a trap. It multiplies in silence while you sleep. But then there's the other kind, the quiet kind. Low interest, attached to something that grows. A mortgage at 3%. A loan that built a business. That debt isn't hunting you. It's working for you. And most people can't tell the difference. Here's where it gets uncomfortable. If your mortgage costs you 3% a year, and the market has historically returned 8 to 10%, every extra dollar you rush to pay off early is a dollar you pulled out of a machine that prints more than it costs you. You didn't save money. You quietly gave some away. Nobody warns you about this, because pay off your debt sounds responsible. It sounds safe. It gets applause, but applause isn't the same as being right. Now here's the twist that changes everything. The wealthiest people you know aren't debt-free, not even close. Real estate investors use debt on purpose. It's called leverage. A small amount of their own money controls a much bigger asset, and the growth on the whole thing belongs to them. Business owners borrowed to grow faster than their cash flow allows, because waiting to save enough cash costs more than the interest ever will. They're not reckless, they're precise. They know exactly which debt is a weapon and which debt is a wound. So how do you tell them apart? Here's the one-question test. Ask this: does this debt sit on something that grows, or something that shrinks? Something that shrinks, a car, a credit card balance, a vacation you financed. That debt is bleeding you. Kill it immediately. No mercy. Something that grows, a home and a rising market, a business, an education that raised your income. That debt might be quietly building your future while you sleep. But there's a catch, and this is the part they leave out of the highlight reels. Strategic debt only works if you actually invest the difference. If you keep a low-rate mortgage but let the extra cash sit doing nothing, or worse, disappear into spending, you didn't get ahead. You just got exposed. The math only wins if you follow through. Otherwise, you're not leveraging debt. You're just gambling, with a nicer word for it. And here's the part that keeps some people up at night. Debt-free feels safe, but feelings aren't collateral. If losing your job would break you either way, if the thought of any debt makes your hands shake at 2 a.m., the math stops mattering. Peace of mind has a price too, and sometimes it's worth paying. Let's go back to that man in the nice house. No credit cards, no car payment, mortgage paid off early, right on schedule. He checks his accounts every Sunday night. Same ritual, same quiet pride. But lately, something feels off. He can't name it. His neighbor took a trip he can't afford. Bought a second property he can't explain. He assumes it will catch up eventually. Someday, somehow. It won't. Because the neighbor did the math years ago, in the dark, alone, and never mentioned it to anyone. He let the low-rate loans sit. He let the market do the heavy lifting. He never bragged about it. Wealth built quietly rarely gets applause. It just gets results. The man in the nice house isn't wrong to want safety. He's just paying for it without realizing there was a price tag at all. So which one are you? The neighbor who paid it all off and slept soundly? or the one who kept the debt, invested the gap, and quietly pulled ahead by 6 figures without anyone noticing? There's no universal right answer. There's only the right answer for what you actually do with the difference. Listen to this. Debt was never good or evil. It's a mirror. It shows you exactly how disciplined you really are. The wealthy didn't avoid debt. They made it work harder than they did. The real question was never, should I be debt-free? It was always this: is your debt truly working for you, or are you quietly working for it?